Hello student, welcome to the one more video sessions of microcontroller and embedded system. I am Vasant Naik from Canara Engineering College. In this video, we will start the third module, that is Introduction to Embedded System. Here we are going to study, or we are going to discuss the various components or various basics of embedded systems. Before we see the basics of embedded system, let us first see what is a system. A system is a device that performs one or more tasks by following certain set of rules. So it will perform or it will execute one or more tasks by following set of rules. Or the other definition of the system is like a system is a interrelated component, or a system is a collection of interrelated components that work together to achieve one or more task. It's a collection of interrelated components. For example, so we call computer as a computer system. Why? Because it should have a processor, or it should have a memory, and it should have a keyboard. All these are interconnected and it will work. That's why we call computer as a computer system. Similarly, we call operating system as a we call operating system. Why? Because it has got many components. All those components are interconnected, like process management component, memory management, IO management. All these components are interconnected and work in order to achieve certain task of the operating system, or in order to it will work like operating system. That's why we call as operating system. So system is a collection of interrelated component to achieve certain task, one or more task. Now we'll see what is the definition of embedded system. So embedded system is a electronic or electromechanical system. It's either purely electronic or electromechanical system. It is designed to perform specific function, and it contains a combination of both hardware and firmware. So it is a electronic. It is made of electronic components. Sometimes it's made of electromechanical component. In electromechanical, like it contains both electronics as well as mechanical components. Like consider the field of field of robotics, where which contains mechanical components like many gears, etc. And it is designed to perform specific function. It cannot do a general function. It will perform a specific or a set of specific function. Then it is a combination of both hardware and firmware. Why I call this as a firmware? Firmware means the software, it is permanently stored in the system. It cannot be reprogrammed. That's why we call it a firmware. And here hardware and firmware are specific to the design, or specific to the particular domain, or specific to the, I can say, specific to the application. So this is the definition of an embedded system. So in the diagram you can see here, so embedded system contains both hardware and firmware. Along with that, there is an input for the embedded system. It can take input variables. So normally it will take input variables from sensors, and it will produce the output through actuators. Then the embedded system can have a small set of user interface, and other than that, embedded system also can be connected to the other embedded system or other system. So this is the diagram of the embedded schematic diagram of the embedded system. Other than that, the internal components of the embedded system or functional components of the embedded system you can see here, which contains first one is like microprocessor or microcontroller. Then other than that, memory, software or firmware, then some sort of application specific related ICs, then analog to digital converter, digital to analog conversion, and like which can take input from sensors and which will provide the output through actuators. Then other than that, some safety mechanism, and it can be connected to the other external world. So all these things, all these are the different components of embedded system. So in my last slide, I told you what is the embedded system. So let me repeat. Embedded system is a collection of interrelated components. It will perform certain type of like one or more task, one or more task. Like it's made of purely electronic components, or it's made of electromechanical components. So if you take any embedded system, it's unique in nature. That is unique in nature. That is, the hardware and the firmware or software within the embedded system, it will vary from one application to the other application, or one domain to the other domain. That is, hardware as well as firmware highly specified to the application and domain. That is the main thing here we need to observe. That is the main thing we need to observe. So embedded systems are nowadays becoming the inevitable part of any product or equipments. Like, you cannot make the list of domain where the embedded systems are not used. So if you want to list the embedded domain of the embedded system, then the list is huge. Some of the important domains are like household appliances, like refrigerator and microwave oven, then washing machines, DVD players. In all these are the examples for embedded system. In telecommunication industries, like whatever the router which we use in our home, and switches, and networking domain equipment, all these are example for telecommunication and networking. Networking domain equipment are the example for embedded system. Other than that, medical equipment, for example ECG, EMG machines, all these are the examples for embedded system usage in medical field. Other than that, industrial control, for example simple robot, which used in industry to fix the object which flow on the conveyor belt, and it will perform simple task like packing the particular material or object. So in industry, so like this, there are variety of usage of embedded system in industrial control. Then various consumer products embedded systems are used. So as I said, it's very difficult to tell that embedded systems are not used in particular domain, because it is a inevitable part of any product equipment. Like embedded systems are becoming inevitable part of any product equipment, etc. Now student, we will see the characteristics of the embedded systems. Here few characteristics are listed which will distinguish embedded system from general computer system. So the few characteristics of the embedded systems are like it should be highly reliable and stable, minimal or no user interface, then designed to meet real-time constraint, limited number of peripherals and limited number of memory, designed for specific application or purpose, designed for low power consumption. So these are the few characteristics. So we will go one by one. First one we will take So we are discussing about the characteristics of the embedded system. So when we design embedded system, we should keep in mind the embedded system should be designed for low power consumption. Why? This is because we know embedded systems operate at low power, because most of the embedded systems are handled and operated on the battery power. So this point we need to keep in mind when you design embedded system. then we have to design in such a way that it should consume low power. That is the first thing. Second one is it should be designed for specific application or purpose. Like as I told in the earlier slide, embedded system cannot be designed for the general purpose. Embedded system should be designed to perform specific task or a set of tasks. That is the second thing. Third thing is, since the embedded systems are handheld device, it will have limited memory and limited number of peripherals can be connected. Fourth one is, and the embedded system must be highly reliable and stable. So when you call the system is a highly reliable, when it has a low power failure or null power failure. That means there is no like failure of the system, then you call the particular system as a reliable and safe. For example, this characteristics is very important in the design of embedded system. That is, embedded system should be highly reliable. Take the example of some critical embedded system which is used in medical domain, like heartbeat pacemaker, which simulates the human heartbeat. So you imagine such type of device. If it fails, then this type of device becomes threat for human life itself. Then we consider the other type of like embedded systems which are used in design of wheels of flight gear system, and you take the ECG machine which monitor the cardiac conditions of patient. All these systems should be highly reliable and stable. That's the one thing we need to understand here. Then the next characteristics of embedded system is it should have minimal or no user interface. We know most of the embedded systems are small in nature. Because of the handheld device, they will have small display panel. So you need to design user interface in such a way that there should be no or minimum user interface. For example, with the minimum button or minimum drop down box. In such way you must design the user interface in case of embedded system. That is the one more thing. Then the last one is it should be designed in such a way that it should meet the real time constraints. That is, it should perform the task in real time without any delay. It should perform the task in the real time environments like the nuclear power plant, thermal plant, etc. The embedded system should perform the task within the particular specified time without any delay. These are the important characteristics of embedded system. Now we will compare the difference between a general computing system and embedded system. Like you can see here, a general computing system is a combination of a generic hardware and general purpose operating system for executing variety of applications. But embedded system, like if you see, the embedded system is a combination of specific purpose of hardware embedded with the embedded operating system, not necessarily embedded operating system, for executing a specific set of application. Like it is like generic hardware is used here. It is the hardware is special type of hardware for particular application with the particular firmware we are using. Second one is applications are alterable, programmable by the user. For example, like I have like a particular operating system in my computer, like Mac or Windows. I can load Ubuntu or other operating systems, but the firmware which is pre-programmed in case of embedded system cannot be modified by the end user. End user cannot alter the firmware here. Third one is the performance is the key deciding factor in the selection of the system. performance. See, when you select a particular computer system, you see the performance of the system. But in the case of the embedded system, not only the performance, you will see the power requirements, memory usage, etc. For example, when you want to buy particular cell phone, then you will see not only the performance, you will see the power requirement. Like if I charge the mobile, how long it will give the battery backup, and what is the memory usage. All these things you will see. Then here on the general computing system end, like of course because of the not tailored components, it can consume much power because of the different components, but embedded system will consume less power. Embedded system highly tailored to take the advantage of the power saving modes. Then the next one is so our general computer system need not to be deterministic in execution of the execution, but our embedded system should be deterministic in the execution of execution. Deterministic in the sense like it should execute a certain task within particular time without any delay, but same thing is not applicable for general computing system. So deterministic behavior of these embedded systems are used in real-time constraint or real-time environment like nuclear plant, thermal power plant, etc., etc. Now in this section we will see the history of the embedded system. If we compare embedded system and IT, then if you do the analysis on this one, we'll come to the conclusion that embedded systems were existing before the information technology revolution. Even before the information technology revolution means embedded systems came before the information technology revolutions. So embedded systems are used earlier in the computer design, early in the computer design, like in 1945 modern computers were designed by using vacuum tube and transistor technology. That time embedded system designs were incorporated in that one. So if you see the history of the embedded system, like in 1960 Apollo guidance computer developed first embedded system. It is used for lunar expedition, and after that next embedded system designed by Autonetics D17 in 1961. So the first microprocessor designed by Intel, in Intel, that is 404, 4-bit microprocessor, which was designed for calculator, which is an embedded system, example for the embedded system. The first microcontroller, like from TMS 1000, developed by Texas Instrument in 1974, is a example for embedded system, because when I say microcontroller, I told like microcontroller contains RAM, ROM, input, output, so many things built in that one. It's an example for microcontroller, and it's the example for embedded system, and most of the embedded system contains microcontroller. So in 1980, Intel introduced its own microcontroller, 8-bit microcontroller 8051, which is used in laser and inkjet printer during the 1980s. In 1990s, 1990s, small pagers came into the picture, which is also an example for the embedded system. Then in 2000, small cell phones came into the picture, and in 2010 or smartphone came into the picture. So all these are examples for embedded system. Now classification of the embedded system. So the embedded systems classification of the embedded systems are based on generation. First one is based on the generation. Second one is based on the complexity and performance. So first one is based on the generation, second one is based on the complexity and performance. And we have two more classification of the embedded systems, that is based on deterministic and based on triggering. So according to the syllabus, we need to study two types of classification. That is, one classification is based on the generation, second classification is based on based on the performance. So based on the generation, you can see here we have four classifications of embedded system, that is first generation, second generation, third generation and fourth generation. So now you see here, if you see this table, the first generation embedded like first generation classification based on 8-bit microprocessor or 4-bit microcontroller like 8085, Z80, etc. And the because of this hardware circuits were simple and they were programmed by using assembly language. For example, simple example for first generation, this one is digital telephone keypad. If you see landline telephone, you must have seen the keypad on that telephone. That is the example for first generation of embedded system. Other than that, we know stepper motor. Stepper motors are used in most of the application because you can control the stepper motor to rotate in particular direction with particular angle. So second generation of next we will move to the second generation. In second generation, which makes use of like 16-bit microprocessor and 8-bit microcontroller, and these are somewhat more complex and powerful compared to the first generations. And the usage of these second generations are in like data acquisition system. Data acquisition system is the one which collects the data and process the data. For example, like ADC, we know analog to digital converter. What it will do is it will collect the data from some sensors and it will convert that data into digital format. We have something called as SCADA. SCADA is nothing but a supervisory control data acquisition system, most widely used in embedded systems. So these are the example for second generation embedded systems. Then we will move to the third generation embedded systems. Third generation makes use of like 32-bit microprocessor or 16-bit microcontroller, and here it is used in like domain specific applications. So examples of the third generations are robotics. In industrial applications, we mostly use we will use robotics in industrial applications. In the fourth generation, this one makes use of 64-bit microprocessor. 64-bit microprocessor or 32-bit microcontroller, and designs the design of this type of systems are somewhat complex, and the design of firmware or software is also complex in these cases. For example of fourth generation is we have smartphones. Example of fourth generation is smartphones, and some of the other examples of fourth generations are flight landing gearing system, and in satellite communication, car braking system, military applications. All these are the in all these areas fourth generation of embedded systems and its applications are used. So now we will see first classification based on the second one is classification based on the complexity and the performance. In the complexity and the performance, we will see like what type of controller we are using. Like in here three classifications are there. One is small scale embedded system, second one is medium scale embedded system, third one is the large scale embedded system. In the small scale embedded system, it is actually used for simple applications. It is not used for critical applications. This contains like the circuit design is also small, which contains 8-bit or 16-bit microprocessor and microcontroller, and this type of design may or may not have a particular operating system. So that is the about small scale embedded systems. Then when we go to medium scale embedded system, which is designed for slightly complex, which is designed in such a way that it is slightly complex in hardware and firmware, and which will make use of 16-bit or 32-bit microprocessor, microcontroller, and contain something like embedded operating systems, and it is used for some like general purpose or real-time applications. So if you go to the last classification like large scale embedded systems, then which involve very complex hardware and firmware. These type of systems are employed in mission critical applications like as I said earlier, flight landing gear systems, or satellite communication, or car braking system, or military applications. All these are real time constraint or real time applications, and so these large scale embedded systems are built you normally around high performance 32-bit or 64-bit RISC processor and controller. Then one more thing you need to remember here, this type of large scale embedded systems, large scale embedded system design contains real time operating systems in order to work with for scheduling and prioritization of the task and management. This type of operating system, that is RTOS, is used. So these are the different classification of the embedded systems. Now major application area of the embedded systems. So what are the major application area of the embedded systems? See, the major application area of the embedded systems is like one is consumer electronics. We know like consumer electronics like camera recorders, cameras, etc. Then household application. Household application normally television, DVD players, washing machine, fridge, refrigerator, micro oven, etc. Home automation and security systems like air conditioners, sprinklers, which is used in agriculture, then intruder detection systems, closed circuit television, CCTV, fire alarms. Then we have automotive industry where it is used for anti-lock braking system, ABS, engine control, ignition systems, automatic navigation systems. Then we have something called as we have one more domain, that is telecom. In telecom it is used in cellular telephones, telephone switches, then handset multimedia applications, etc. Then it is also used in computer peripherals like printers, scanners, fax machines, and we know the computer networking systems. At our home we will use the routers. So normally embedded systems are used in routers, embedded systems like routers are embedded systems, routers, switches, subs, so firewalls. It will do specific tasks. All these are embedded systems. Like other than that, in healthcare industries, different types of scanners, used in healthcare domain, like medical domain, like EEG, ECG machines, etc. Then in measurement and instrumentation, like digital multimeter, digital CRO, logic analyzers, programmable logic controller. And in banking sector and financial sector, like automatic teller machines, currency counters, then card readers like smart card readers, handheld device, wearable device like health and fitness trackers, smartphone screen extension, cloud computing and IoT. In all these these are different domains where these embedded systems applications are there. Embedded systems are used. What is the purpose of the embedded system? Now we will move to the next section, like the purpose of the embedded system. The embedded system main purpose is like it can be used for the data collection, storage, representation, data communication, data signal processing, monitoring, control, application specific user interface. The main embedded system is used to collect the data. It can collect the data from the external world. External world in a sense like it can collect the data from the sensor, or it can collect the data from the other embedded system, or it can collect the data from the other computer system. Then it can store the data, it can formulate the data for a different representation. It can transmit the data from one end to the other end for data communication. It can process the data for multimedia applications like multimedia application, etc. It can also monitor. The embedded system can be used in monitoring, like we know we have seen healthcare machines like ECG, EEG, where all those systems will monitor the patient conditions. Then embedded systems are used in control device. See, monitoring is different, control is different. In control, the like embedded system can control the particular variable based on the particular condition, like in air conditioner, compressor is controlled by actuators based on the room temperature. Then like application specific user interface, the purpose of the embedded system is from data collection to the application specific user interface. So here it is once again they are given the detail this one represent like detailed discussion of embedded systems. Like as I said, embedded systems can be used in data collection of facts. Data means data can be anything like text, audio, video, etc. The purpose of the embedded system design is to data collection. Then it performs the acquisition of data from the external world. That means it will collect the data from the external world. Then once it collects the data, then it will store the data, analyze the data, manipulate the data, transmit the data from one end to the other end. Data can be analog or digital. Once it collects the data collection, then storage, representation. So data need to be collected, data need to be converted by using if the data is analog, it need to be converted using analog to digital converter, and it need to be stored, it need to be formulated in a different way for the representing the data in the different display like LCD, LED, etc. all these things. Then data communications, we know the networking domain. In the networking domain, like embedded system is widely used in networking domain, like in routers, switches, etc. By using all these device, data can be transmitted from one end to the other end by the help of wired communication, wireless communication like Bluetooth, Zigbee, Wi-Fi, etc. So embedded systems are used in like digital signal processing, like the embedded system with the signal processing functionalities are employed in application demanding signal processing like speech coding, audio video like codec transmissions application. Like digital hearing aid is a special example for embedded system employing data processing. So embedded systems are also used in monitoring. As I told, in medical domain, embedded systems are used in embedded systems like ECG, EMG machines, where you can monitor the like cardiac condition of a particular patient, electrocardiogram machine. Then digital CRO. Nowadays we use digital CRO, digital multimeters, logic analyzers, all these different types of devices which you used in electronic industry. All these are an example of for like monitoring embedded systems. Then control. So embedded system will not only monitor, it will control. Like embedded system both contains both sensor and actuators. We know sensors are connected to the input port for capturing the changes in the environmental variables. That is, sensor will collect the input. Actuator are connected to the output to control the actuators are connected to output that are controlled according to the changes in the input variable. According to the changes in the input variable, outputs are controlled. So this is the main this one. So as I told earlier, air conditions are used in our home to control the room temperature. To the specified limit is example for an embedded system for control purpose. The air conditioner compressor unit which is connected with the actuator is controlled according to the current room temperature sensed by the sensor and the desired room temperature set by the user. Then application specific user interface. So what do you mean by application specific user interface? Like some of the user interface designed for particular specific application like button, switches, keypad, lights, bells, display units, mobile phones. In all these embedded systems are used. In all these cases embedded systems are used. So student, this is the history of the and the purpose of the embedded system. In the next session we will see the what is the core component of the embedded system, the typical embedded system, or what are the core components of the embedded system. Thank you.